Talk Radio.
Welcome. You're listening to Perfectly Healthy and Tone Radio with your host, Darren Fat Man McDuck. And now, prepare to get fat. Hey, what's cracking? Welcome back to another episode of Perfectly Healthy and Tone Radio, brought to you by I'mTheFatMan.com. And I am your host, Darren McDuffie. Got another exciting show tonight. Tonight we will welcome Chuck Frank to the show, just waiting for Chuck to actually Skype in. So with that, I'll get to some announcements here. And hold on 1 second for me, people, please. Okay, sorry about that. That was actually Chuck. He was going to try to Skype into the show, but he can't Skype in, so he's actually going to call in. Now, for announcements, if you have not connected with me on Facebook, please do so. My Facebook address is facebook.com/I'mTheFatMan. You can connect with me, become my friend. You'll get the updates all the show. Twitter, I am @thefat_man, so connect with me on Twitter as well. And before we get the show going, I just wanted to send a special happy birthday to my cousin, Lana Odom, who actually always does my taxes for me. It is her birthday today, so I will just wanted to wish her a happy birthday. For those of you who don't know, I have a very, very close family. I don't know how my mother and my cousin's mother, who is Lana, were able to have us exactly 2 weeks apart. I have no idea how that happened the same year, 2 weeks apart, so we are the same age. Who knows why that happened. But tonight, again, we have Chuck Frank on the show, and he's going to be talking about life between life. Very good show, simply because there's a lot of people out there that are looking for their purpose and trying to find their purpose. And also, there are a lot of people out there that I think are confused. They don't know what life is really about, and they don't know how to get the answers to their lives. So this is a good show, and it'll be a great show. If you want to call in and ask questions, the number is 646-716-9371. Again, 646-716-9371, and you can call in and ask your questions. So I'm going to go ahead and welcome Chuck to the show. Hey, Chuck, is that you?
Hello. Hello.
Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. Thanks.
Oh, great. So, Chuck, how are you doing tonight?
Really good. I'm looking forward to doing your show. This is going to be fun.
Cool. So we're live on the air right now, and if you can you share, what I normally do is ask people to just share their journey with the listeners. How did you get into this whole life between life thing?
Sure, I'll be happy to tell you. Let's see where to start. When I was about 10 years ago, I was doing a technique that I used to be able to do, and I trained my girlfriend that I used to live with. I trained her to be able to do it so that one night I would be able to go into the spirit world, and the next night she would be able to. It was a deep hypnosis technique. And then one night we were standing outside, and she was leaving, and she was going someplace, and she was telling me about an experience she had up in Manhattan, and it was a life between life reading. And she was describing this experience that she had. It was a deep hypnosis technique. And when she was describing the technique to me, I got goosebumps all over my body, and I was like, that sounds phenomenal. I have got to learn how to do that. So it was sort of like a bell going off in my head, like, wow, this sounds great. It's just one of those things that, your soul innately vibrates with, and you just feel really good about. Anyway, I started reading about it, and then I studied with a fellow named Dr. Michael Newton. And he's a best-selling author who wrote several books. One of the books is called Journey of Souls. and another one of his books is called Destiny of Souls. And I picked up the books, and I was just completely blown away by what people were experiencing. And the thing is, it's all inside of us. That's the really fascinating part of this, is that all the experiences that we have of this whole process, life between life, is inside of us. So what happens is, you work with a hypnotherapist, and they put you into this very deep, relaxed state. And basically all that means is your brain waves. You slow your brain waves down. It turns out when your brain waves slow down, you become much more intuitive, much more aware, sensitive. Your internal mind chatter stops, and you're able to go deep inside yourself. So what happens is, there's a process where they start and they walk you back through your childhood. They start off with this life now, and you get regressed back to different happy experiences as you're a little kid. Then you get regressed back to your earliest happy childhood memory. Then you get regressed back to being 1 month old, which is fascinating. And then you get regressed back to being in the womb, in your mother's womb, just before you're born. And that's just an amazing experience right there. And what happens is, the reason that we go into these earlier memories is it's the same part of your brain that remembers what you had for breakfast 10 years ago or when you were in the womb. It's the same part of your brain that remembers what you were doing in a past life, or even before that, what you were doing between one life and the next. So you activate that part of your brain, and then what happens is there's a process that the hypnotherapist walks you through, and then you go into the spirit world. And basically, what you do is we take you back into the immediate past life. The immediate past life from this one. So let's say you're 40 or 50 years old or 60 years old. We regress you back to the immediate past life from this one. Then we go through a few different scenes in that life, and you get a sense of what was going on. And then we take you through the death scene. And basically you just pop out of your body when you die in that past life. And you probably leave your body every night when you go to sleep. You just don't realize it. So you just find yourself floating out of your body, and I just ask people, I say, where are you now in relation to your body? And typically they're floating above it or next to it, or they could see it below them. And you can hear the surprise in their voice that they're out of their body, but they're still alive, you know? It's like your soul consciousness is still intact. It's just that you don't have your hands and your feet, whatever.
Chuck, is this the same experience that people actually have when they actually die? So when they die, I've heard stories where people will either view themselves from up above of their body, the physical body, or they will view themselves as something is happening.
No, that's exactly the same process. One time I was standing on top of a wall, and I went to jump off, and I had a pair of karate pants on, and my sandals got caught in the bottom of these floppy pants I had on, and I ended up going head first towards the ground. I put my hand out in front of me and sort of did a roll, and just before I hit the ground, I remembered seeing myself out of my body. I saw my body, and I was above my body before I actually hit the ground. So we're able to do this all the time, and you probably